Hello class. In this video, we're going to go over how to multiply multi-digit numbers using the standard algorithm. Now, I know I've said it before, there are many ways to do mathematics, and there are more than one correct way of actually solving. But for this video and the next couple of videos afterwards, I'm going to show you specific methods that we can use to help us with our multiplication. Okay, so on the homework part, you must do it the way that we showed it in the videos. But after this, unless this question specifically states for you to solve in a specific way, you could choose whichever way is right for you. But for the sake of the videos, you must solve it the way that we're doing it in the video. So before we start using our standard algorithm, I want you to create a new heading in your notebooks with your full name, first and last, the date, mathematics, your period, as well as the assignment name, multiply using the standard algorithm. Pause the video now and do that. Now, I know a lot of you are saying, what is the standard algorithm? Never heard of this before, but this is actually something that you have been doing, in fact, for it when you put numbers vertically up and down above each other. This is the usual basic way that a lot of people were taught. This is the way that I was taught when I was a student. And this is the way most of your parents are going to know how to do this. So let's look at an example. So our first example is 52 times 36. Now we have written this here horizontally, left to right. But to do the standard algorithm multiplication, you need to change this to be vertical, up and down. So I'm going to write here, I have 52 on top, and I put the 36 right underneath it. Okay, and then I'm going to add my multiplication. So this is the setup for our standard algorithm. So for when we're doing the standard algorithm, what people misunderstand is that they think they're doing 6 times 2, 6 times 5, then 3 times 2, then 3 times 5. But that's not always the truth. That is only truth actually for this first digit that's in the ones column. Okay, so 6 times 2, it does give us 12. So we do write the 2 down and we carry the 1 because we have another number to multiply. 6 times 5 gives us 30. 30 plus this 1 gives us 31. But because there's not another number here that we have to multiply, I could write the 31 straight down here. Now, normally, nobody really gets confused with that because we are doing 6 ones times 52, and that does give us 312. The confusion part is here with this 3, the one that's in the second digit. And that's because they're saying, oh, this is 3 times 2, but in reality, it's not. It's 30 times 2. And then we're doing 30 times 50, okay, because it's by place value. To combat this and to make it easier to multiply, we take that 10 out. But to represent the 10 in our answer, to make sure it's correct, we need to start the second line for the second number with an X. Some people use 0. I use X because when I'm reviewing my work, I want to make sure that, hey, I didn't make a calculation. Like 6 times 5 is 30. That has a 0 in it. I don't want to mess that up. So I use an X for the second line. Now I can easily do the 3 times 2. 3 times 2 gives me 6. So I write the 6 down. And then 3 times 5 is 15. But because there's no other number here, I could just write the number 15. Otherwise, I would have had to write the 5 and carry the 1. Now that I have that part done, I have nothing else to multiply. There is no number over here. If there was another number here, I would have to put 2 X's like we will in the next column. And then all I have to do is I have to draw my line, my sum line, and add the addition. So I have to add these. Now I know that I have an X here, and that's okay. Because remember, that's viewed as 0. I just want to make sure that I don't confuse myself. So that's why I did that to X. So 2 plus 0 or 2 plus X will give me 2. 1 plus 6 gives me 7. 3 plus 5 is 8. There's no number here, so that's a 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. Now that I'm done, I know that this is my answer. But I never want to circle my answer here. I'm going to get myself confused. So I'm going to rewrite my answer, 1872. And then I'm going to add my periods. Remember, that's every 3 digits. So I go 1, 2, 3, a comma goes here. So now it's easy to read that this is 1,872. Note, I did not use the word n because I have no decimal. And then I'm going to circle it because that's my final answer. So remember, we do the ones by each individual. When we're done with that line, we start the next line with an X, and then we multiply the second number by everything on top. That is crucial because I know some people do 6 times 2, 6 times 5, or 6 times 2, 3 times 2, then 6 times 5, then 3. That's all confusing. You take the first number, multiply it by all the numbers on top, you get the first line. Then this is the second number because that's a 10. 10 has 1 0. It gets 1x, right? And then I multiply this digit by all digits on top. When I have no more to multiply, I just add each column. But also note how clean my numbers are and how lined up by place value my numbers are, so I don't get confused. I want you to pause this video now and write the expression, all of our work, and then our final answer in your notebooks. Now that we have that, let's look at a little bit more of a complex number. So here I have 1,354 times 214. That's a big numbers to multiply, but we could still use the standard algorithm. So to start off again, we're going to rewrite our numbers. I'm not putting the comma in there because I don't want to confuse myself, okay? But I'm going to put the comma in my answer. But I first want to write down everything here. Notice how I'm being very neat with my numbers. I'm keeping them ordered by place value. I know some people will say this is a Y, so I'm just going to extend it out. And then I put my line. The process is the same. I'm going to first ignore this 2 and the 1, and I'm just going to work with this 4 here. So I have 4 times 4, that's 16. Because I have other numbers to multiply, I'm going to put the 6 down, and I'm carrying the 1. Right? Sorry, I'm carrying the 1. Now I still here at the 4, I'm not done. 4 times 5, that gives me 20. Plus this 1, right? Since I'm adding that 1, gives me 21. So I bring the 1 down, and I carry the 2. I'm still not done with the 4 because I still got to multiply the 3 and the 1. So now I do 4 times 3 gives me 12. 12 plus 2 gives me 14. So I carry the 4. Bring down the 4, carry the 1. Then I have 4 times 1 gives me 4 plus 1 is 5. So 1,354 times 4 is 5,416. Now I'm done with this 4 and I can move on. So now I'm multiplying. This is by 10, not 1, by 10. But to make it easy for me, I look at it, 10 has 1 0, 1 0, so I'm going to put 1x right here, 1x. And then I could do 1 times 4 gives me 4. 1 times 5 gives me 5. 1 times 3 gives me 3. 1 times 1 gives me 1. So now I know that 1,354 times 10 is 13,540. Now that I'm done with the 4 and the 1, I could do 2. That's not a 2, that is actually 200. So there are 2 zeros in 200. So here I'm actually going to have to put 2 x's, right? So I'm going to put an x here and an x here, still lining up because I'm by 200. But because I pulled out that 200, I can then multiply. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 5 is 10. So I'm going to bring down the 0, because remember, each place value could only have 1, and carry the 1. Then 2 times 3 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. And then last but not least, 2 times 1 is 2. I have no other numbers to multiply, So I could draw out my sum line with my addition. And I just double check to make sure that I've done everything right. I have 1x here for 10. I have 2x's for 200. So if I had an actual fourth number here, that would be in the thousands. There are 3 zeros in 1,000. So I would have to start the next line up with 3 x's. But in this case, I don't have it. So I can just turn around now and add 6 plus 0 plus 0 gives me 6. 1 plus 4 plus 0 gives me 5. This is a little bit more complex, so I'm going to add them separately. 4 plus 5 is 9. 9 plus 8 is 17. So I'm going to bring down the 7, and I have to carry the 1. 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. Next column, 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 plus 7 is 8. Next column, 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 2 is 2. Now again, this is just my math, so I'm going to rewrite these numbers. 2, 8, 9, 7, 5, 6. And then since this is long, I'm really going to verify and make sure that I've copied the same numbers exactly right. Then I add my period. So I have 1, 2, 3. I have to add a comma right here. 1, 2, 3. Because there's no other number, I don't need to write the comma. So I know my answer is 289,756. And then I'm going to circle it. I don't need to label this because there is no label here. And that is my final answer, 289,756. Notice I did not use the word "and" there because there is no decimal. I want you to pause this video now, write your expression, all of our work, and your final answer in your notebooks. Now that we have this down, I want you to try on your own. So here are two numbers, okay? So the first one's very similar to the first one that we did here, except there's another number right here. And the second one is similar to this number, just different digits. So you would first multiply the 1 by all these, then the 20. You start the number on the second line with 1x, and then do 2 times 389. On this one, you would do 2 times 2,753. On the second line, you would draw a 1x, and then do 9 times 2,753. Then on the third line, we put 2 x's because the 4 is in the 100 spot, and then do 4 times 2,753. If you need to watch this video over again, you may as many times as you need to. Right? Don't forget to show all of your work. Write the expression down. Show all of your solving for it in the standard algorithm, because it says here standard algorithm. That's what you must solve it in. So if you use any other method, you would be wrong. Now, if you want to use another method to check your work, by all means, you may do so, but the standard algorithm should be there.